How are you?
How's it going?
It's going well. How's it going with y'all?
It's going beautifully. It's a beautiful day here in sunny Southwest Florida. Trying to finish out our week right now, start our fourth quarter, right? Get
Yes.
ourselves organized and really prepare for what's to come for 2026, because what we do now, as we all know, is going to help shape that. So there's a lot of things happening right now, which is great. A lot of industry changes that are coming about. And yeah, it's going to be a great fourth quarter. I think it is, with interest rates lowering, all that fun stuff.
Yes.
Okay. Well, we are going to get started. I know there's some folks who are joining. It is the first Thursday of the month in October. I am your productive aging coach, Felicia Saraceno. I'm down here in sunny Southwest Florida. And today we're going to just kind of recap how everyone is feeling for quarter four, going into quarter four. And we are right now getting ready to plan for 2026. How many of you have a strong fourth quarter plan to help you and propel you into 2026? Trying to change my thing so I can see everybody. All right. Anyone
Mine
plan?
is
Is that something
mine
that you're
mine is
planning on doing this quarter?
mine is literally uh, building and gonna go out and establish relationships. So
Wonderful. Wonderful. All right, Heather, how are you doing? Miss rock star of Indiana with those beautiful glasses on.
Well, thank you. This morning it's also beautiful in Indiana. But my plan is very similar to Miss Lisa's. I'm going to take it. Our last quarter is usually the slowest quarter, so I'm going to utilize it to my benefit and just build those relationships with the different long-term care facilities.
Yep. Awesome. Awesome. And I'll ask a couple of more too. Does anyone else have a plan that they've started for the end, fourth quarter, to help propel them into 2026?
Making more calls.
Cindy, Mike, Christine. That's right, making more calls. And that is something we're just going to talk about engagement right now a little bit. This is something that we definitely want to start for 2026. I can't believe it's going to be 2026. I'm still stuck in 2025. I feel like, where did the year go? But we have a full impact November, and October is going to be leading into November for all of our members right now, because making sure that we plan ahead and we strategize and we sit and we make sure that we use the most of our time. Now, depending on where we are in the US, your fourth quarter is going to be different than my fourth quarter and Mike's fourth quarter down in sunny Southwest Florida. This is, for us, this is when what we call the snowbirds come down. They're getting their place ready for season. They're taking a look at their properties. We get a small blimp in our business and uptick, because this is when folks decide, my space is too small or it's too big. And they start deciding, should I kind of switch out my property? Am I in a condo and should I be in a villa or a freestanding home, or vice versa? This is when all of the cars start coming down. So we joke around and because it starts to see all different types, Wyoming, Montana, California, everything comes down here. And so we take advantage of that because it is the time for us to uptick for October, November. December dips, it's the holidays, it's regrouping time. And then from January all the way till Easter, it's gangbusters for us. Traffic goes from your 15-minute drive turns into an hour drive. This is just, we have an influx of over 100,000 people that descend upon us. So this is when we have to take that and run. Now, for many of you in your areas, this is the slower time of year. School is in session, the holiday trail is started, and you have to start strategically aligning yourself for how you're going to finish out 2025. And that might be doing some trainings that you've wanted to do or certifications, which that's coming soon from PAC 2 if you're a PAC member, and we'll have non-member options as well. And then also just making sure that you have a good daily plan. So when we do have the opportunities to join the business development classes that we're going to be hosting in the next couple of months, because December is all going to be about implementation, I strongly encourage you all to join, because this is going to be huge for all of us who want to excel within this niche and push forward. So one of the things that, Mike and I talk about on our team is our daily calls. And I don't know, how many of you like to make cold calls? Raise a hands or nods. How many of you like those? All right, I'm gonna need some interaction, because I want to make sure you are able to understand that I detest cold calling. Detest it with capital letters. It is the most bane of my existence. But you know what? I have over 2,000 people in my cell phone right now saved as people. No, I'm not going to put someone in my phone that I don't know, right? So I have a database that's over 1,500 people. And then I have my referral partners, and that could be through relationships that I have built, or, as you all know, I'm the president of a nonprofit here in Naples, and I have over 130 people on that list. So how am I engaging with them? How am I building those relationships? And then and many of you have attended my referral partner mastermind that I have done. How am I engaging with them, and how am I getting them to provide me with referrals? Because it's all about relationship building. Many how many of you have done Paul's masterminds on Mondays? And he teaches you about reciprocal partnerships, right? Yeah, I see hands raised. Absolutely. So what we need to do for this quarter is engage with those folks. How are we engaging with them? Now, I am 50-50 on coffees. I'm 0 on lunches. I do not do lunch with people. I do coffee. Coffee implies that it's going to be a quick half hour. Lunch is for referral partners. Lunch or dinner is for referral partners who are referring to me on a steady basis. I've had one partner provide me with 9 referrals this year already. That's going to be like a thank you dinner for fourth quarter, going out, thanking them. And then I always give a local holiday gift to those who are referring to me. However, as we go through our fourth quarter, it's time to reflect on what your year has brought to you. And if it hasn't been fruitful for you, that needs to fuel you into engaging with people. So how are you engaging? So that would be the first question that I would ask. Who's your list of who you're engaging with? That's number 2, is how many referrals have they given to you, or introductions to other professionals that you wanted to get in touch with. So maybe you don't know a divorce attorney, a 1031 exchange professional, an estate planner, a financial advisor. So how are those folks helping to be the conduit to a warm email intro for you so that you can begin to build new relationships, right? And then how are you providing a benefit to the senior living communities in which you want to build partnerships with? Are you doing a video walkthrough of what a model looks like? Of what the overall impression of the community looks like? It's very easy to do these things. 20, 30-second clips. There's so many great tools now between Canva. Instagram's got a great reel editor for you to be able to do this with either a voiceover or a text voiceover. A text, you could voice your text on it and have it go like a typewriter through everything. And the reason why I push this for you all is because it shows a community engagement. And then how many of you do newsletters?
Newsletters
Yes,
is
no.
one of my goals for this last quarter so that I get in a groove for the next year, because I've done them just too sporadically.
Me too.
The system.
Me too. Me too. So since we switched brokerages, it's been a little bit of a change to get used to a new system. And so I'm building out our newsletter, which will have a community spotlight on a senior living community. And you can either have that be a blog, part of your website blog, or it can be a video that you have on YouTube that it just points to. Because this is building your social media presence. It's building your presence that you have within the community. The second thing that I'm doing for our team is spotlighting a community partner through a blog or a article that they have written, and it's highlighting their business for them. And these are partners who have referred to our community, to us. And if you don't have someone who has referred with you, it's someone who you want to build a relationship with, and it's spotlighting their business. Now, why this is so important is as you are establishing yourself as the person who is within the senior niche, we can't have it all be about me, 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 me. We all know that. And we need to involve our partners. And so there's different opportunities to do that. I always put something on there, and in the past, and what we're doing now, an upcoming event we are hosting for the adult child or the senior itself. Many of you are doing senior expos or your presentations that you're doing. So it's a great time to highlight that along with your featured listings, which it should be very simply a link to a featured listing page for them to go and view. And then, of course, like I said, the article for one of your reciprocal referral partners, small blurb, link to their website, an event that you're hosting, small blurb, link to there. And then I always like to throw in some, it's Halloween time, it's Oktoberfest time. So what's going on in the area? So it's informational purposes. And I always like to start out with what's going on within the market in our area. Just 3 sentences, something quick. And then I also post that on my website. So if they want to learn more, they can click over to that. It's all about providing them with information, and you're not necessarily selling anything to them. Because the minute it's a sales thing, we all know when we go to the shoe store, you walk in and they go, "How can I help you?" And you're like, "I'm just looking. I'm just browsing." So this is informational purposes. This is the push that is out there with every professional business development coach nationwide right now, because people want the information and they like having it come to them, but they necessarily don't want it all to be about real estate. And we're working with seniors, and we're working in a realm where it is all about information for them and a comfortability that they have with you as the professional when they're ready. How many have you have ever done something like that before, or find this intriguing or something that's attainable for you?
These are all things that I want
I
to
see
do
some
and have
heads
planned.
nodding.
Oh, these are all things that I've planned to do, that I want to do, and it just, it hasn't happened. I need to come up with systems because right now I'm just focusing on my 5 listings that I have, and I don't feel like I have time to, really deal with all of that kind of stuff.
I hear you.
I think
I
my
hear
biggest
you because, yeah. Okay.
my biggest struggle, I think, is number one, having all the options for the different platforms, like trying to navigate which one is really going to work best for me and my life and my business and moving forward with it. And then I think the other side of it is like, there's just so many different things that we need to do as, in control of our business. I don't know where to start. Like, do I start with the newsletters? Do I start with the
know.
30 days worth of
Yeah.
posts? Like, I'm overwhelmed. I
Mhm.
am not a social media director, although I have been put in
Yep.
that position and accepted it. It's just it's overwhelming.
I understand, because it's like, how do you find the time, right? And so if you are a member, we have the 30-day what to post every day. This is where I have said this before, and other coaches out there say this before, time blocking is your friend. So when it comes time for a newsletter, true fact, I have been working on my newsletter for the past week and a half. And what it means is I block an hour of time on a specific day that's going to get done. What gets done within that time gets done. And it's really the reason why it's taking me a long time for the newsletter, which will take you a lot of time for the first one, is making sure the format and the flow flows. It also took me time to figure out which platform I wanted to use that was easy to use. It wasn't cumbersome, and it's easy for me to pop in and out links and photos, right? So it's getting that down. And I could share, I think it's called Brevity, the one that I ended up choosing to use, because it connects to my CRM. And I don't have to upload all of my contacts, right? And have 2 databases. So that was one of the biggest things that took me a while to figure out. The second thing, when it comes time for social media posts, every Monday, I block an hour of time. And for my team members, what I do is I'm sending them out pre-scheduled emails of, okay, this is what we're posting on this day. And it goes out every day for them. And then I pre-schedule everything out on the social platform that we have. So that's LinkedIn, and then the Meta Suite, so that it's all blocked out in the time that they're telling me that I should post for my readers. So whatever happens within that hour happens within that hour. Normally, I can get all 7 days done in that hour worth time. And so you have to time block. In the morning, I time block calling the 15 people that I need to call. That could be, Cindy, all of your you have. Are you responding to their emails? Are you following up with them? Because we have 12 listings right now, and we have 3 more coming up right now. So it's making sure, is the handyman doing what they're supposed to do? Am I calling the right people right now? How am I engaging with them? How many referrals have I been giving? Have I followed up with them? So it's time blocking that, because it is definitely attainable for you to create a system in which you're calling your buyers, your sellers, you're prospecting, and you're time blocking for what you need to be done. Now, I am the biggest person when it comes time for squirrel, because my husband will say, did you get the 15 videos I sent you on TikTok? And I'm like, I can't right now. So I have to put my foot down, and I can't go squirrel over here. and say, oh my gosh, let me look at all these reels. Because what happens is then you get into, it's time, you're wasting your time. But how am I being productive? Every Wednesday, we don't have an LFG call because historically for me, for the past 15 years, Wednesday was my outreach day. Wednesdays are my day to go into the community, to go and visit folks, and to have my coffee in the morning with someone. And I'll say, hey, can we meet for coffee? Great. I'm available on Wednesday. Does that work for you? Nope. Okay, great. How about the following Wednesday? And I stick to that, and I'm a stickler to that. Because otherwise you're driving all over and all you're doing is you are satisfying someone else's schedule, and then you're not sticking to true for you and the procedures that you have committed to. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Does anyone time block right now?
I do. I time block, and generally I take Sunday night to look at kind of what I accomplished during the week and what I didn't get to that I need to take care of the following week. And I really try to literally have my whole week blocked out. But like I said, like yesterday was spent with, dealing with a lot of issues with the transaction that might go wrong. So I had a lot of phone calls that I didn't feel that I could push to another time. There was a lot of urgency to it and a very upset client. So I needed to address that. So my day was kind of shot yesterday because of that. And also,
and that's going to happen.
Yeah. I was so emotionally drained and exhausted from all of it that, normally I'll pick up my computer after dinner and like putz away on a few sort of mindless things. But for some reason, it just really got me down yesterday. So I was kind of shot.
Yeah, absolutely. And so one of the things that I am learning, because we're always learning, right? I am the person who will work until 11 o'clock to make sure everything is done, but not anymore. I haven't done that for the past 8 months. I am the person who's always helping, available, but not anymore, because you have to put your foot down and you have to have boundaries. Now, you're going to have transactions that go sideways. Trust me, we get it. We got them. We've had nothing but the past couple of transactions have been nightmares. Okay. I was just explaining a mover taking off the entire gate intercom system and say, oh, it's just a little faceplate that's gone. And then I go there and it's ripped out of the ground and the entire intercom system is gone. There's no wires, there's nothing. And they took the intercom system, so I can't even go and figure out what it was and how to replace it. And I have a buyer who's saying, we paid for a $1.2 million house with a gate. Why is it missing? And the mover saying, well, it's really not that big of a deal. We'll just get it replaced, with zero plan on how to get it replaced. And that's, when you think about things like that happen, because I'm giving you an example, I don't know anything about gates. That's not my forte, right? I know how to sell the home, but then you have to stop and research who can help you, who can help make sure that all of this can get done. So those things do throw you off, but you got to get right back on the saddle the next day and get back to, okay, what did I miss? How can I make it up? What can I do? Now, the opportunities to post on social that we have been providing for you are not meant to overwhelm you. They're there to help you have a guide. And it's there to help you fill your social media calendars, because one of the things that we have heard is we don't know what to post. So we're only answering the call for what we're getting the feedback from our members. And as you are going out there and meeting people, you have to have some sort of a structure. And so it's good to know, and this is going to be part of the planning, the business planning. What do I do on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and what's reserved for Friday? And then how do I pivot when a buyer or a seller comes to town or says, I want to have a listing appointment? And I think that's going to be vital for you as you grow. And then at what point do you bring in a transaction coordinator, a virtual assistant? Because the scariest part of growth in any business that you have is when you get so busy that you need to bring on employees or contractors. So when I worked in senior living, the scariest part of our business was when I had to hire 5 to 10 new CNAs and nurses. Because number one, I didn't know what type of customer service that they were going to provide. Number two, I didn't know their quality of their care from a 2-hour interview and reference checks. And number three, I didn't know how my residents were going to react to it, because continuity of care, and continuity of care means very streamlined, predictable care for them, was the utmost importance. So they did not relocate to another senior living community. So every business goes through this, but you have to know when to take that leap of faith and when to pull back. So we've all heard the most successful people within our business and how they've hired a transaction coordinator or a VA, and they went from doing 40 deals a year to 200 deals a year because they implemented some processes. But you have to know when to do that. And then you also have to know when to pull back. This year has been very challenging, very, very, very challenging for most real estate agents. The NAR results, NAR statistic, I should say, they said 71% of real estate agents didn't have one single sale this year. Think about that, 71%. So if you have had one sale, you're above that statistic, right? And I know majority of you on this call are top producers, you're hustlers. You are making sure that you are going out there and being able to feed your families. So I'm not saying, please, by any stretch of the means, go out and hire a virtual assistant at X amount every month. I'm not. I'm saying you have to plan for when that does happen. So part of this business development that we're doing coming up over the next month and a half is going to be vital to helping you, because I'm hearing what you're saying. I'm overwhelmed. I don't know how to implement this. How do I do it? So between now and then, I want you to start writing down what you're doing on a daily basis. And you're going to structure that into, it's producing money for me, or is it admin stuff that you're doing? Now, for majority of us, we have to become the social media kings and queens. We to get into this uncomfortable spot because we don't have anyone to fill that void, right? So you learn how to be a social media guru. Yes.
Do you have a recommendation for an organization or a way to hire a virtual assistant? I started, and the first two I had, they weren't great. And I need them to be great because I don't want to have to worry about telling them what to do, because that gives me more work to do.
Yeah. Yeah. We can have a whole class on how to interview virtual assistants, how to ask for their work, how to see what they're posting, how to strategically align yourself with the person that resonates with you, and how to whittle that down. I've interviewed thousands of folks over my lifetime of professional work. And you have to make sure you ask all the right questions, especially with a VA. and have some sort of a check-in process to make sure that they are understanding everything that you need. And it's no different of hiring a team member for yourself or hiring a virtual assistant for yourself. You have to have some sort of a check-in process. Are you checking in daily at first, then weekly, then bi-weekly, then monthly? What are you doing to help keep everybody on track in the right realm and how you do it? Because you have to hold those strings close so that they're performing at the level you want them to perform.
About how
But
much?
absolutely, there's a couple of companies.
About how much should you be paying for a virtual assistant? Just ballpark.
I would not hire someone at first more than 10 hours a week.
Right?
You have to get used to it, right? You have to get used to someone. And that could just be for the social media management. And it depends if you're hiring a virtual assistant that's overseas or locally. So there's definitely some different variables. I've seen local folks get anywhere from $20 to $25 an hour. And that's someone that's local for you. But within that virtual assistant that's local, I would hire someone who can also help to be a courier for you, like putting lock boxes on, showing up for photos,
I have a suggestion.
making sure that they're. I couldn't hear you, Heather Hunt.
I personally have recruited, and I guess she kind of recruited me. My assistant and transaction coordinator is actually somebody who's interested in getting their license. So what we have done is worked out an agreement that I will pay her on the transaction coordinating, but like the admin assistant is essentially an unpaid internship. So she's riding with me right now. She goes with me in the mornings and during my appointments. And then I've trained her on how to do the administration and transaction. And our goal is in like February, March for her to be licensed and ready to go as my buyer's agent.
I love that. And that is another way to go.
I have definitely explored that option. And just, like I have a friend who is between careers and we talked about that. It didn't work out, but I'm going to, I definitely am keeping my eyes open for that. Also trying to convince my daughter that she should be my virtual assistant too. So I'm exploring a lot of different options.
Oh yeah, girl, I tried to get my family to do it for like the last 3 years and none of them were interested. They said yes. And then it was kind of that situation where it was, again, it's family's a little bit different than somebody outside of the family circle.
Exactly. Now, what I'm gonna leave it at is friends, but good pairs make friends. Sometimes it's very challenging for you to be able to direct people who you have a close relationship with on their daily tasks. And so that can be, it depends on your personality. So don't say that's stone. Tell me that. And throughout the time that I've known Paul, now going on 5 years, I have seen other family and friends who have hired family and friends in an art. And so I learn very vicariously through others and what their experience is. And the more you try sometimes to do that, the more work it could be. So just keep that in mind. It always doesn't work out that way. You can have a niece or nephew that's going to college for marketing, and they could be the best intern or virtual assistant that you've ever had in your life, right? But that's just something to keep in mind. And Andrea wrote, just checking. So what did you find helpful from today? Did it help provide you any clarity
Yeah, I guess for me, it clarified
Don't
that,
all right,
that
like,
what,
don't shout out at once.
I guess it clarified for me that a lot of the things I'm thinking of doing and planning it or doing are the right things. I just need to create a system and a plan to get them done.
It's
Take
just
it
a
away that
system.
I'm not alone in the overwhelm of trying to get all this planned.
I would agree
You're
myself.
not. We
Basically,
yep.
I was just gonna say, I agree as well. It's, I know the things that need to be done. It's just in which order are they implemented? And I do think that I do struggle with systems, and that's what I need to get a handle on, you know, the end of this quarter. I need to get that in place because I do expect to be busy, and I want a well-oiled machine.
That's it. And you have to start somewhere. And I always say baby steps are huge. And so making sure that you're starting to block your calendar off, to figure out what your slowest days of the week are. And figure that piece out. Like for me, that Wednesday is my outreach day. That Wednesday is a day that I'm gonna go and do the things in the community that I need to do. And I force that because that's just the way my business has run for years and years and years before becoming a real estate agent, but while working in senior living. So it's just something that you have to try and figure out. And remember, I do all of the back office work for PAC and help Rose learn a lot with Kajabi for the schedule, the modules that we do. I also help with my board with preparing all of the sponsorship packets and making sure the website is updated. It's a lot. And there's some days that I just go, I cannot do this anymore, right? Because you have everything that's happening. So who can help and what systems can be key is huge for everyone. So there's okay to have a freak out day, go into your car and scream or cry or listen to music that gets you motivated. That's okay. You're going to have those days. But this just means that you are growing, that you are going to excel within this niche right now because all of these things matter for you, right? And this is where you want to be. So it's okay. It's okay to have these levels of uncomfortability because it just means that you're kind of shedding your skin from where you were before. And now you're going to move forward. I see, Frankie, your hand is up.
Hi, good morning, everyone. Can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Can you hear me? Okay. I just want to share really quick. I went to a senior community last week, and I toured I toured both sides, the independent living and the senior assisted living. And this community is a very well-oiled machine. They are at like a 98% capacity, if I'm saying that right, and they have like a 5 to 7 year waiting list. So I kind of felt a little stuck because I had offered my services to come in and do different presentations on downsizing and bringing some customers in to maybe share the community with them. But the lady was saying that their waiting list is so long, like you almost have to make upwards to $1 million just to be able to be a part of that community. They have like once someone is up, where it's time for them to possibly move in, they have to put down a huge down payment, and then the rent expense is, it's crazy. I toured one of their apartments, and when I say it's beyond plush, it's plush. It's really, really nice. But I'm like, I don't think I can get an edge in to even go and present or bring people in because they already have all of those systems in place. So I was just thinking to myself,
Yeah.
when I go out and tour different communities, I probably want to ask what is their capacity so that I don't, put myself back in that kind of position. I guess look for something where their capacity is less than 90% per se. Cause I don't know. I mean, it was really nice, but I was just like, I mean, it's so well oiled that I don't think anybody can get out there, even get in there, even like people like myself that want to go and share downsizing tips and or probate or different things like that, because they have everybody in place that does different things like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I just wanted to share that. And I mean,
so
it
that's
was
a great
a tour, but yeah, I was just like, wow, like where can I get in here to do anything?
Yes. And so here's the thing about capacity and census. So when you have something that is that well oiled, it's great. But know this, as someone who's worked in senior living, that can change on a dime. And I worked for a community that was always at 100%, 99, 100% with a long wait list. And we had 17 deaths from a neurovirus, and it completely decimated the entire community and the wait list. We went through it like super fast. So we quickly went from almost at 100% down to 75, 80%, very, very quickly overnight. So those are great communities to build and establish a relationship with, but you do want to focus on a community that has a little bit more struggle, because the national average is below 80% right now. It's around 75 to 77%. And you want to work with a community that is hungry, because they're going to feed you. And a CCRC, like what Frankie was telling about with a large buy-in, those are fabulous communities to work with. But they have to have the capacity, because when they have open rooms, they're constantly bringing people through. They're constantly doing some sort of a lunch and learn or an opportunity to learn about the community, where you could either sponsor as a vendor to be present there as well. So there is room for opportunities, but that's a really good point, Frankie. All right, I know we went a few minutes over. Any last ahas before we go for the day? Are you all going to go and start out where you're spending your time? Thanks, Donna. Donna said this was great. Thank you.
This is great information. And it really, it's prompting me to just really figure out a schedule in when to do what and how, and get the rest of the pieces in place.
Perfect. Now I want you all to for this week and next week, kind of plot what you're doing, when you're doing it. And it's great to have that producing side, like a piece of paper right down the middle. One side is, this is income producing. The right side, this is admin work. I'm not saying that everyone's going to go out and get an admin. I'm not telling you to do that. I'm the first person to be frugal and say, be cautious where you spend your money. But what I'm saying is it will help to afford you the schedule that you need for time blocking. Because we always have to be doing income producing items in order for us to make money to feed our families and to combat that overwhelm, so you can put a system in process to be able to attain everything. All right, as always, if you all have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. I'm just switching my phone around. My phone number is in the chat, but in case you want to write it down, it's 203-631-1737. And I hope you all have a fabulous day. And let's use the Facebook page that we have to start brainstorming with some of this too. Don't be afraid to write it down. Like, how are you time blocking? What systems are you using that are working for you? We have almost 1,000 people in our Facebook group, and we want to make sure that we get the input from some of the folks who have a well-oiled machine, right? That's what it's there for. So I hope you all have a fabulous day. Thanks so much for joining. And happy Thursday. Thanks, everybody.